Hi, I'm Alex Perry. I'm a software calibrator here at Dinan Engineering, and today I'm going to show you how to install a Dinantronics unit on a 4-cylinder. This one we have here is a N20 328 with mechanical wastegate. First thing you need to look for is if you have a mechanical or electronic wastegate. Down here next to the exhaust is your turbo. You'll have a vacuum pod for your mechanical wastegate, or you will have an electronic wastegate that has an electrical connector. Two major differences are the electrical connector for the electronic wastegate as well as the vacuum hose for the vacuum wastegate. This one we have here is a first edition N20 for the 328, and it has a mechanical wastegate. So we'll be installing the N20 mechanical wastegate tune along with a 4-cylinder harness. First thing you want to do is park your car on a flat level area, shut all the doors, and you want to open the trunk and the hood. The hood to do the Dinantronics install, and the trunk to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. As you can see here, there is a small locking tab that you will twist, releasing the locking tab, and just pull from the top in an arcing direction and set this cover aside. The negative terminal is held on by a 10mm bolt. So simply release that 12mm nut, loosen it enough so that you can wiggle the terminal loose. Wiggle it back and forth until the terminal is undone, and then pull the terminal off. You can see the battery has been disconnected, so the lights have gone off. Once you have done the negative terminal on the battery, you will come to the front of the car and you'll pull the engine cover off. There are a couple tabs that hold this on. It's a simple pull right out from underneath the side, and then your engine cover will pull out very easily. You will set this aside. This will go back on when you're completed. As you can see, this is the BMW DME right here on top. This is your 3B connector, your 2B connector, and your 1B connector. You'll need to start with your 1B connector and proceed 1, 2, 3 to pull these connectors off. There's a push tab on the front of it that you will push down, and then your locking mechanism will slide out and your connector will pop up and it will now be out of the way. You will proceed to do this with number 2 and 3 as well. The Dinantronics harness connects to just connectors 2B and 3B for the important signals that we need. The MAP sensors, the mass airflow sensor, as well as how we control our strategy for fuel mixture and controlling the short-term fuel trims. So next you will get your Dinantronics harness. This is our current Dinantronics harness that we have. This 4-cylinder has a black marker that is next to our Dinan ECU connectors with a serial number as well as the part number for your harness. This harness currently is our first generation. We are currently in work to expand through FlexRay as well as all the connectors that we can tap into. Looking to do speed governor removal as well as possibly check engine light removal. So with the Dinantronics harness, you will see that there is a marker on each connector. You have a 3B as well as a 2B. Both of these connectors that are the exact same OEM connectors that are on your BMW harness will go in first to the DME, and the BMW harness on your car will connect in to our 58-pin connectors. Next thing to do is spray your Dinan connectors with the contact cleaner that we provided you in your kit. This connector lubricant will help fill the microscopic voids in your connections. Through the multiple miles that your car will receive, the connections will have slight vibration and cause imperfections in the two materials, and this will fill those voids and help protect that from happening. So you will take and spray each connector, your 2 BMW connectors, your 2 58-pin Dinan connectors, as well as your 2 Dinantronics connectors. Be generous with the spray. Using too much never hurts. You will start with 3B, which is orange. First you will want to unclick it so that it is unlocked. You will first proceed to put that in the leftmost connector. When you get the connector in, you will push down and your locking tab will snap up, and then you will lock it down and the connector will suck down in further. Next is connector 2B. You will do the same procedure with that. Push down until the locking mechanism snaps up and then lock it down. You can check by lifting up on both connectors to make sure that neither of them comes up. Then you will grab connector A. This one will not have two big pins on the left side. This is how you know it's a black connector. You will know that it goes into the first slot. You will push down and the locking mechanism will snap up. Make sure that one also is not down. So once you have gone through that, you will grab the BMW harness side. The black one goes for 3B, so you will take the Dinantronics harness, make sure the two big pins are lined up with the two slots for that on the BMW harness side. Just like on the DME, you will push this together, the locking mechanism will snap back, and you can lock that down. Make sure that it's locked down. Put that out of the way so that you can get number 2. 2B is next. You will also look to make sure that your big pins are there. These connectors cannot be, 2 cannot go into 3, 3 cannot go into 2. They have a keyway so that you cannot cross those. White goes with white. That is your Dinantronics install right there of the harness. So you will now push these out of the way so that you'll be able to get your engine cover back on once you are done. The best way for number 3 is to put it on the left side, push down out of the way, and the second one to be pushed in the back so you can slide the engine cover over the top of it. The rest of the harness will run around to the driver's side, up through this rubber boot. Once you have done that, you can lay the rest of your Dinantronics harness across the top of your lower cowling and feed the harness through underneath the weather stripping. This will protect it from any water damage. And then make sure you push back your weather stripping so that it's in the proper placement. Next, you will need your 10mm socket. You will take off your cover plate here. It's 3 10mm. It's a simple quarter turn to the right. There's a plug here. You will just pop out your cover. As you can see, our Dinantronics unit is in this durable case. It's waterproof, so no water can get inside. You will have your Dinantronics Corporation information here. If you have any problems, feel free to give us a call. You will also have your product name, part number, your MAC address, and your production date. It'll also show you your firmware when the box was made that is installed on your box. As you can see, we have a piece of Velcro on the bottom. You can choose to stick the soft or hard side on the bottom of your box, and the other side goes on a plastic cover here where the fuses are, and that will stick the Dinantronics box into your vehicle. Once you have stuck the Velcro there, you will have 2 connectors. You will have connector A and connector B. First, you need to connect connector A. Just like on the DME side, you will push the connector in, and then you will slide the locking mechanism so that it locks properly. You will also do the same with connector B, pushing it in and locking the tab in. Make sure that both of them are connected before you proceed. So here you install your power line for your Dinantronics unit. This is your power line. It has a red wire, also has a 12-volt designation on it. You'll take a T47 Torx. If you don't have that, a T45 will also work. This power terminal right here, it's simple to loosen. I prefer to hand loosen, it's a lot faster. This cable, this power lead that we have, has a lot of excess wire. For this, we are able to use this harness for multiple models. The 3 series, the 2 series, the 4 series, the 5 series, as well as some European vehicles, as well as right-hand drive vehicles. So with this 12-volt wire, you will lay it on the power lug, and put your power lug back on. Hand screw so that you don't strip the threads, and then make sure to tighten. This excess wire can be laid on top of your Dinantronics unit and out of the way so that it will not rattle around. This here is a EO label that is in every Dinantronics kit. One thing that is special about our piggyback is that it is the only CARB certified for sale in California piggyback legal in this state. This EO label needs to be installed next to your Dinantronics unit or on top of your Dinantronics box. Next, you will reinstall your cover. By doing this, there is a sender tab here that it slides underneath, and then you'll pull it back a little bit on the left side and slide it in. There's three tabs that go in that you will then tighten down to lock down your cover plate. Make sure that your weather stripping is on top of this so that no water will run in. With your 10mm socket, you can now lock down these three tabs. Simple turn to the left, quarter turn. There's arrows that will line up to show you that these are lined up properly and it is locked. If you go more than a quarter turn, you've gone too far and could possibly have damaged the locking mechanism. So now your Dinantronics harness has been installed as well as your box. You can install your engine cover. By doing this, you can line up this hole that has your oil filler cap, line that up, and go straight back by putting the back of the engine cover underneath the engine cowling, and just shimmy it in there until the hole for the oil filler cap lines up perfectly. Then simply push down, and your locking tabs, there's two rubber ones on this side. They will lock in, and you will feel it lock in, and it'll be in there, and it'll be set. So now that you are done in the engine bay, you can use your OBD2 scanner to check for faults. Make sure there are no faults. Any generic OBD2 scanner you can get at any auto parts warehouse in your neighborhood, or you can use anything up to your very top high dollar Snap-on or Autel scanners. This is a generic OBD2 scanner that I have here. With this, I will check faults. So with your OBD2 port, you will plug it in. It's down here below your dash in line with your dead pedal. If you feel around with your fingers, you can feel the pins. As you can see, you have the big end farthest away from the steering wheel, and your smallest end will be closest to the steering wheel, and it'll plug straight up in. As you can see, I've plugged it in and the OBD2 scanner has powered on. Make sure that your vehicle is powered on at this time. Just ignition on, but do not start the car. With this scanner, I can look at the OBD2 faults simply by pressing enter. Right now is going and waiting for a vehicle response, checking the protocol, and now checking for faults. As you can see, I have 0 codes found. So with this, you can start the car. If you have any faults, you can read your faults here within the stored faults menu. You can also clear your faults if you have any faults, simply by erasing the codes. Once you have checked your faults, you can now unplug your OBD2 scanner and proceed to start the car.